Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people, where we speak about critical issues in the blindness community and all other issues from across the universe and galaxy. Today, we're very honored to be joined by Patric Long, as I understand it, founder and CEO of Innosearch AI. What I really want to know about you, though, is who is Patric Long? And how has your life led up to you developing Innosearch AI? What is AI? The whole story behind you and Innosearch AI. You have an hour, or really a little bit more than that if you want, but go right ahead. Welcome.
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Patric Long. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Innosearch AI. We're an assistive technology company, basically using very creative web design and AI technologies to help people with disabilities, and particularly those who are visually impaired and blind, access the internet seamlessly. So the platform is actually very quite simple. We help scrape the internet. We take all these different websites on the internet that are inaccessible. We process the data, and then we represent the data in a way that is very easily usable by your screen readers, your braille refreshers, whatever assistive technology you guys are using today to access the internet. We make it very easy, very simple, very compatible with the current websites out there. So the experience you have on Innosearch is a new user experience, something you never experienced before. We remove all information that a lot of people don't want to see, like ads, a lot of images without the proper alt text. We take all of that out. So yeah, so when you're using it, it's very smooth, very simple. So far, Innosearch has had over 400 blind and visually impaired users. They use our product to do, all sorts of shopping, from buying groceries, buying electronics. So we're very proud that we're able to help so many people in just a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really, really, really important and really interesting. So, how did you come to notice? And I don't think it's really an easy question or really quite as simple as perhaps maybe a sighted person would think initially. How did you come to notice that so many websites were inaccessible? And how do you really determine inaccessibility? I think that inaccessibility and accessibility is both subjective and objective from a blindness perspective. So how do you specifically determine and kind of quantify accessibility or inaccessibility?
Yeah, so when I think of accessibility, I think of the experience, somebody who's blind and visually impaired, the experience they have should be at least on par with a sighted person. And when they use a website, they should be able to use all the functions that the website has originally created, right? They should be able to use all the functions that was built in there, right? They shouldn't lose any functionality, and they should be able to complete their task without any sighted help. So that's sort of the design philosophy as we build InnoSearch. We want, oh yeah, another thing is the blind and visually impaired person shouldn't take a unreasonable amount of time to complete their task, right? So all these different design philosophies we bake into InnoSearch. For example, the AI component, you're able to learn about your product, just by asking a question, right? So instead of, I know today, you might have to have the screen reader read out every single element on the page to find out what, the specific details of what you're buying. But we've built an AI to basically take all that information out there, train the model. So when you can ask it questions, it can give you an accurate response.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. Sure, sure. So what is your perception and your opinion how AI works and how we need to be using AI in society, whether we're using with whether it's used with InnoSearch or not? What is your true perception of artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so the way we're using AI at the moment is we're using large language models to basically act as like a shopping assistant, right? Like your friendly customer service agent that has all the possible knowledge of the internet combined with, everything about the product, right? Be it the manuals, the product descriptions, product images. So it has all that information. And so when you talk with it, um, they have all the patience in the world, right? They can be there, listen to you, you can have a conversation with it. Um, yeah, and they'll give you accurate information as well, right? Sometimes staff at different stores like Best Buy or Amazon, they may not actually know what's going on. So in many regards, we think the AI support can be even superior to human support.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sure. Yeah. So, okay. So how does somebody access Innosearch AI? Like exactly what is it? Is it an app? Is it a plugin? Is it both of those things? How does it exactly work?
Yeah, so Innosearch right now is a website. Obviously, it works on desktop, PC, Mac, and also mobile, or you just have to go to Innosearch, Innosearch .ai, and then you get to jump into our shopping portal, right? In the future, we're planning to build a native mobile application as well, and also expand different products that can be purchased. So right now, we're 100% e-commerce focused. Um, there's over 500,000 retailers on the site. So, all your popular big guys, Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, Wayfair, but also some smaller stores as well. So yeah, billions of products on the website, lots of selection, pretty much anything you could be looking for. We have it on the site. So yeah, great place to do some holiday shopping if you haven't done some of that already. Um, yeah, so that's sort of in a nutshell how to access it, some of the stuff we do.
Sure. Excellent. Okay. And so what types of experiences have you had, within, during your life, Patrick? Obviously you've been very aware of AI and technology, but tell me if you like, share with me a little bit more about your background, what types of things you did up until this point of creating, Search AI. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've always been entrepreneur my entire life. Prior to Innosearch, I co-founded a peer-to-peer blockchain lending company. Um, and prior to that, I was actually a certified public accountant at Ernst& Young. And I have a degree in economics from UC Berkeley. So yeah, always been very curious about different ways technology can make people's lives be for the better. So yeah, AI was obviously um, very has a lot of potential, right? So yeah, I looked into it, and after seeing some research and asking some of my friends, found that 98% of websites, web experiences today are inaccessible, right? And as you know, 1 in 7 people in the world today have a significant disability, right? That's over 1.3 billion people worldwide. So, the problem is massive. I think AI has a huge potential to help, right? Folks with disabilities live a more independent and fulfilled life.
Yeah, you're very, very right. That's all of that is accurate. What inspired you to get into the economics field? I always think that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I always had a curiosity of how things work from a business and economic standpoint. Um, I mean, the world nowadays obviously is governed by capitalism, right? In the United States here. And so, yeah, just really curious about the history of things, how things came to be, how the whole, political system and everything was set up. Yeah. So just jumped into that, right? And as a kid, I think curiosity just leads you down that rabbit hole. And yeah, that's why I got into economics and accounting and all that stuff.
Yeah, sure. Excellent. And yeah, and then being a CPA, that's one of the hardest exams you can take. So, yeah, why did you become a CPA? What was your true motivation there? Yeah.
Yeah, I think accounting at least or financial statements sort of show the true health of a business, right? And it's almost like their report card, right? You can say whatever you want during a press release, or you can watch a beautiful demo, right? But at the end of the day, it's the financials that speak, right? Because you can't hide from that. So I was always curious of how all that worked. Sometimes in my free time, I like to read 10Ks of companies. That's the annual filing that all companies that are publicly traded are required to list and put on the stock exchange. So yeah, I always curious about those things. And, yeah, that sort of led me down getting my CPA, working for, one of the big four accounting firms, and did that for a while until I caught the entrepreneurial bug.
Yeah. Well, that's really, really good. Yeah. So it sounds like you also have some experience. You said that you also have experience in the blockchain technology. A lot of people want to learn about that. So how does that work, by the way?
Yeah, so blockchain, I mean, it's obviously has taken many forms, right? There's, tons of cryptocurrencies out there, Bitcoin, Ethereum, just to name a few. But maybe I'll just talk a bit about Bitcoin since it's, yeah, basically the most famous one and most popular out there. People equate Bitcoin, something to digital gold. Basically, it's costs a lot of, compute power to discover a Bitcoin, right? They're solving very complex math problems. And if they're lucky, they can solve it correctly using, basically a bunch of these server farms, solving them as quick as possible. And by solving it, they actually maintain the integrity of the network. And what that means is, they're keeping a database of all the transactions happening from the beginning of the founding of the network, right? Of when the first Bitcoin was created. So they keep a transaction ledger of everything, all the different movements. And that's basically what Bitcoin is. It's a decentralized ledger of, um, people's balances, right? And to generate each new block requires a lot of energy. And that's why it's valuable. So very, very exciting stuff. I mean, that's just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other ones obviously have different mechanisms of how it works. Yeah, that's sort of in a nutshell. I could go on for hours about this stuff.
Of course, of course, that's fine. That's great. Excellent. Yeah. So what's the real reason why Bitcoin was invented in the first place? What was the real reason behind it?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of controversy, right, behind it. It's, nobody really knows who has built it, who built it. It was just open source code that was, discussed on a forum called Bitcoin Talk. There's a bunch of, cyberpunk, cyberpunks, discussing, different new technologies. And it was, I think, one day uploaded by a guy named Satoshi Nakamoto, right? It was just a pseudonym. That's not his actual real name, but some random guy named Satoshi uploaded a white paper of how to set up the network, set up your computer and the code. So it just sort of, took off from there, right? Some people were experimenting with it. Some people would download the software onto their computer and host the network. And yeah, to this day, I think there was an HBO documentary maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that was released that they sort of tried to speculate who Satoshi was. But, to this day, there has been no like confirmation of who this person is. So there's like a lot of mystery behind it, but I think for good reason, because if we knew who he was, then governments probably wouldn't be too happy.
That's true. That's true. So do you know who it is?
No, I can't. And if I did, I wouldn't be able to tell you, right? But no, I don't know who it is. No.
Nobody knows. Probably in 50 years, we'll find, the truth will come out eventually, probably within 50 years. It'll be discovered. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, yeah, I think there's some speculation of who it might be. Some people think it's actually not one person, but rather a group of collaborators. Um, there's also some speculation that it's like some government entity. It could be like some research group within the United States government. I mean,
Probably not. Yeah.
there's a lot of speculation as to who it is, but there's no confirmation. And the people that created it, actually, they did not sell any of their coins. So all the original like Genesis coins have never been moved. So it's not like they made any financial gain from it either. So it's
Hmm.
just been, yeah, big question mark for all these years.
Interesting. Interesting. But from a blindness perspective, so have you traded crypto, like from a blindness perspective, like are blind people able to trade cryptocurrency? What have you found to be the accessibility with that software out of pure curiosity? Yeah.
So I'm not blind. I'm not visually impaired. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
yeah, but I have team members that are,
Oh, all right.
to,
No worries. Hmm.
yeah, we, work with a spokesperson, representing us, helping us, and his name is Sam Seavey. So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
blind, visually impaired. Might have heard of him. One of our engineers, he was born blind, taught himself how to code. So we work with a lot of blind, visually impaired because we want to make sure, the product we build, makes sense for them, right? And helps address their needs. So actually, I've never raised cryptocurrency, up to, as a question to them because cryptocurrency is actually quite hard to use even for, uh, the people who can see. And the reason is because the user interface it's really not that intuitive. So yeah, you bring up a good point, Aaron. Maybe that's something we can look into. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
not
Because
only, not only helping people purchase items, right? But maybe we can help people, um, yeah, purchase crypto. That's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and purchase it in a proper, ethical, the right way. I think the problem is that people don't really see the use of cryptocurrency. We haven't decided how to use that technology yet. We've decided that the technology is usable to some extent, but we don't really know what the extent of that technology could be. Yeah, that is very interesting.
Do you
Okay.
know, by the way, like the percentage of folks, in the blind visually impaired community that's interested in cryptocurrency? Just curious
I
for
mean,
us.
I mean, are you asking me if I know like about how many blind people would want to learn crypto? Is that sort of what you're asking? Like that? I think Patrick.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure of
So
the
I don't
connection.
know.
Yeah,
No
please
worries.
go
I
ahead.
asked you, sure. So are you asking, how many if I know how many blind people would want to learn crypto? Is that sort of what you're asking?
Yeah, I'm just curious since you asked the question, like,
Sure. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I have no idea. I do know that, considering though that I think a huge factor, as you might have studied or may be familiar, that as you know, at least 70 as the statistic goes, and I preface this by saying that statistics are just that. They're statistics. They're not necessarily true. But as it goes, they say 70% of blind people in the United States are either unemployed or underemployed. And I suspect that that number is much higher, actually, than 70%. But considering that, yeah, I don't think the number would be very high because I'm not really sure. I think that most blind people would say that, well, I really need a job first before I start trading crypto. That's kind of the problem. I don't think enough. I'm not sure how many blind people would be at a financial state where they would truly be able to partake in that. I do think that blind people struggle with banking and finance. So perhaps Innosearch AI could delve into creating financial products for blind people from that point of accessibility. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think, from a utility perspective, cryptocurrency adds a lot of ease of use for people. For example, like our team, we're global, right? We have engineers all around the world, and actually we use cryptocurrency to pay them. So stable coins, basically tokens that are not like Bitcoin, but they're pegged to the US dollar. So one token is equivalent to $1 held in a financial institution. These tokens we actually send worldwide. So yeah, that's how we make our payroll, and they love it because the moment you send it, they receive it, right? It's not like how long does a US wire doing, a wire transfer take? A day, right? Sometimes if you're lucky, a few hours. But there's typically a fee associated with it. You know, if you do something like, PayPal, they might hold your funds. They might reverse the transaction. But cryptocurrency is very clean, very fast, non-reversible. So once you send it, they know the money is theirs. So it's very interesting. And a lot of people really enjoy, receiving it and using it as a payment, method.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I've never received that. I've never delved into that or received it in from any. So after somebody gets that, then what do they do with these tokens after they get these tokens? Yeah.
Well, they can spend it, right? They can spend it on stores, right? Like we actually accept cryptocurrency on Innosearch. Um, so yeah, you could spend it on a website like ours. You can actually, if you create an account on Coinbase, you can actually receive the tokens on Coinbase, and basically, yeah, Coinbase acts like your Wells Fargo, Chase, whatever. They receive the tokens, and you can get a wire back to, or get a transfer back to, um, whatever your bank is. That's another option. Another option could also be spending it on a debit card or, credit card. There's a lot of options to spend it in the real world.
Interesting. Okay. Well, great. Yeah. Okay, so you guys have done a lot of projects with that. So, yeah, what are some other industries that you think you'll be researching and delving into with InnoSearch in the future? You have the commerce, e-commerce, crypto, possibly financial, but what about some other stuff?
Yeah, some other things that we've been brainstorming and thinking about recently. So one, we launched flight booking. That was one of the big feature requests from our users. Not only do they struggle with shopping online, but booking flights, booking travel to visit friends and family or for business has been a big struggle, right? As you know, all the airlines maintain a different website today, uh, tons of different policies, right? Like something like Frontier or Spirit, they, might charge you for a really small bag. There's all these different rules, and it's complicated, right? Even for a sighted person, it's complicated, right? So what we've done is we've simplified that process where you don't actually have to go to each, um, to your Spirit Airlines or Frontier Airlines. You don't actually have to go to their site. We take all that information and then we rebuild that accessible experience on InnoSearch. So you can, yeah, search for flights, find where you need to go, and then just go ahead and book it on our site. And we take care of all that, complexity for you. We will be adding the AI chatbot component as well shortly. So whatever airline policies, cancellation policies, questions that you have, you can just ask directly, to the AI, and they will give you the most accurate information. And we think this will be a game changer, for the blind and visually impaired, because today, I've heard lots of horror stories from folks that go to conferences that, they're waiting 2, 3 hours on the line for a customer service representative to actually help them, book their flight or book their hotel. It's just, yeah, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, very excited to launch this feature, and we're going to be doing some promotions and, marketing on this shortly.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be very good for sighted people. I'll tell you that I'm blind. I have glaucoma, but I live with my parents, and my parents are older. And for them, even for sighted people, booking an airline ticket it's always overly complicated. So yeah, it doesn't matter how easy the flight is. The booking it, the setting it up is so complicated, but all the choices and the variables make it very, very complicated. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, so what would happen, for example, if a sighted person who's not blind gets onto Innosearch AI and just starts buying stuff? What would this AI do to help a sighted person?
Yeah, so just like how we help the blind and visually impaired, I mean, I think there's a lot of uses for folks in other communities or folks that even have other disabilities as well, right? So you can think of InnoSearch as just a very simplified version of um, any website, right? So think of like a college textbook. It's really dense, a lot of words. It takes a while to go through all of it, right? And sometimes, you might have to go back and forth and look up stuff, right, to actually understand it. It's complex, right? It's dense. So most of the web today is like that, right? When you go on Amazon, you go on, whatever websites out there, there's a lot of information on there and it can throw a lot of people off, right? Not just people with screen readers, maybe people who, yeah, just don't have the time to look through like a thick wall of text. So we take that, right? We process it through our systems and then we recreate an experience that's like a children's book, right? Something that
Okay,
might be,
interesting.
yeah, something that might be like a dense paragraph with tons of words in it. We'll turn it into a children's book. We extract the essence, the meaning, right? Most important facts obviously are there. And if you want to learn more, you can chat with the AI and the AI knows everything from that college level textbook, right? You can go into the details if you want, but if you don't, and you're happy with, a quick summary or, a few bullet points of the most important things about the road bike you're trying to purchase, then yeah, you can just go ahead and go through with the purchase. So, we're doing that for, e-commerce. We're going to be doing that for flights and hotel bookings and moving on to different verticals. So yeah, I mean, end of the day, we want to be a super app, right? So anything, that's too complicated for folks today, we want to simplify that, create a seamless experience, great experience, for the user. So I think there's a lot of, to your point, right? I think there's a lot of other applications as well, right? The biggest I see are those with cognitive impairments or also seniors. I think the senior community could be, a big one, a big next, like a next potential avenue that we explore. Um, because yeah, older folks, they don't understand, how to use a lot of online shopping or websites today. It's pretty complicated. It's not easy to find a little button that's hiding.
Definitely not. Yeah. What about healthcare? I think healthcare is a huge section for you to delve into with InnoSearch. You know, getting people, especially blind people, really struggle to not only access healthcare, but to access results in a confidential way. So what have you, as far as confidentiality is concerned, what have you done to research confidentiality in the market?
So in terms of, confidentiality and keeping people's information safe, yeah, I mean, this is really important, obviously, right? What you want to keep private could be between yourself and your healthcare provider, or, if it's your banking details, it should be between you and your bank, right? So we take this very seriously. And right now, everything we've done, has been done through Stripe, and Stripe is a, global operation. They have processed, I think, in the last year, over $1.1 trillion of transaction volume. It's all, best in class bank grade security encryption. So everything is, done through them and they handle every single transaction that's processed on InnoSearch. So you can rest assured that, we're doing the absolute best we can, to keep your information safe.
Yeah, yeah, that's so important. And there's so many obstacles in confidentiality and cybersecurity. It's a never-ending cycle of constantly needing to be aware of it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good. Good. So when people like go to Innosearch AI, like, so do people have to, so how does the actual, so how does it work? Do people have to join it to use it? Is it free to use? How does that work as far as actually using this tool?
Yeah, so you just go to Innosearch, INNOSEARCH.ai, and it's free to use, or basically e-commerce website that sells billions of products out there from over 500,000 retailers. On the front page, when you get there, you can see all the top deals, best deals. We scour the internet really hard actually to find the best prices out there. So whatever you see on there on the front page, most likely there hasn't been a lower price on the internet before. So if it's something you like, yeah, consider purchasing it. We also have a search bar, right? For people that are not hunting for deals, we also have a search bar. So if there's any item that you're looking for, right? Anything from groceries to, electronics, anything really, you can just type in there and we'll find the best products for you. Um, all products have a free 30-day return, free shipping. Um, so basically all the benefits that you have and you see on Amazon, Walmart, we bring the same to you and our users.
Wow. Yeah, really, really, really amazing. So you could get on there and search for coffee or whatever you want, whatever you need to buy. You could search by brand or search by really any filter or any category really. Yeah, that's
Yep,
really,
that's
really
right.
good. Really good. Excellent. Excellent.
And it's accessible, right? Very simple. Like I said, right? It's not your college textbook that you have to browse through to see if this is the right treadmill for you or the right computer for you. It's super simple. Only the most relevant information is displayed. And if you want to get in details, right, because you're really particular about your graphics card or you're really particular about the way you want your treadmill to fit because you have a small home, you can ask the AI, right? Ask it, and it has all the information. It has all the details that it's been trained on, so it can respond. And we think it can probably do better than even somebody who's working at Best Buy or Walmart, because those folks, yeah, they don't have the time to study every single product before they go to work, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Although customer service people should be trained on their products, but it seems like in many cases they struggle a lot with that. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very, very interesting thing. Okay, very, very, very good. So, I have to be a little bit nosy, a little bit curious. So, thank you for contact. Thank you for reaching out to me, Aaron's Opinion. So, how did you come to find out about Aaron's Opinion, by the way?
Yeah, so we've actually appeared on quite a few podcasts, like Peter and Nancy Torpy's Eyes
That's
on
right.
Success,
Yeah.
Double Tap by Stephen Scott, just to name a few. The Blind Life by Sam Seavey, Carry on Accessibility. Um, yeah, so those are just a few that are on top of my head. But yeah, a lot of those folks have had guests in the past. And I think we stumbled upon your profile as we were looking through some of their previous episodes. I forgot which one. But yeah, we went to your site. We saw that you review products for the blindness community and just a thought leader, opinion leader in the space. So wanted to reach out and see if we could do something together.
Thank you. Thank you. We definitely can. So, how do I put this? So, how do you see, Aaron's Opinion potentially maybe being able to help out with Search AI? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think testing. So giving the product a try or even becoming a power user, using it for all your Christmas shopping, and evangelizing to your friends and family. I think that is something not just you, but any person could do, and definitely would help us out, grow, right? Because we want at the end of the day to help a significant portion. the blind and visually impaired and also greater disability community. That's our market, that's our people, and we want to make sure, they can live with that independence. Um, so I think that. Also, I think just being on your show, and also introducing us to folks that you also know that have shows, that have communities behind them. I think all of that would be really helpful. So would really appreciate it if we could, do something a little more closely together, do more of these types of podcasts. Yeah, happy to share. As you can tell, I'm really an
Sure.
open book. I'm happy to share, what we're doing and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
different
Well,
things we work in.
certainly. Sure, sure. Well, absolutely. One thing that would help a lot is if you connect with me on WhatsApp, I can connect you with the other guests of Aaron's Opinion. And many of them live in all sorts of countries all over the world. So actually, what can you tell me about the user base, though, of Innosearch AI? Do you have users from all the countries? What has been your kind of analytic in that section?
Yeah, so we currently are in four countries. We're in the United States, obviously. We're in the United Kingdom. We're in Australia, and we're also in Canada. So, anybody from those locations can purchase from Innosearch. Each country has unique shops and retailers unique to where people are. So we're thinking of expanding to some others as well, but those are still TBD. But right now, we're available in four countries: the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada.
Okay. Okay. So what would happen though if, because we have a large following, perhaps you know that Aaron's Opinion has a large following in South Africa, right? So what would happen if some of my South African friends got onto InnoSearch AI? Would it just not load, or like what would happen?
Well, we just wouldn't display the retailers, basically.
Hmm, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So maybe maybe at some point they can work on that to maybe add more, add more countries,
Yeah,
What do you look at though when you go to decide, okay, InnoSearch is going to be available in this country? Like how do you determine what countries it's available in?
yeah. Basically, we look at the user base and the potential. Recently, we've been having a lot of requests from India.
Mm-hmm.
So we think of it, I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to serve our customer, right? So if there's enough demand for it, there's enough requests for it, then we'll definitely add it. Adding actually is not too difficult for us as long as the underlying infrastructure is already there, right? So if, you guys have a lot of online retailers, right? Because all the information is already out there. It's actually quite easy for us to add. It's just we want to make sure there's enough demand, there's enough organizations we can tap into to make the investment worth it, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we're also a business, so we have to make sure the, manpower needed to expand there, makes economic sense, right? Back to my roots in economics.
Sure. No, no, no. Economics is really what it's about. Is this going to yield the result? Is this going to yield the profit? Is this going to be enough of a yield? Yeah. No, I think for sure. Once you join my WhatsApp group, and there's a private one for the guests, and then there's a public community on WhatsApp. Yeah, WhatsApp is, by the way, speaking of power, speaking of something to think about. What about InnoSearch? Do they have a WhatsApp community for InnoSearch?
We actually have not. We haven't tapped too much into that as well. So
So
that's
WhatsApp is ridiculously powerful because all the countries have access to it, and the people all over the world are on that thing sending information. The WhatsApp is ridiculously powerful. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that. I know there are a lot of communities, but yeah, some of our folks have told us, but yeah, we haven't spent too much time looking into that. So yeah, it's a good call out. We'll look into it.
Sure, sure. All right. All right. Well, very good. So I think that covers I think that covers a lot. I think that really gives gives a lot of information there. So thank you. So certainly, I'm sure you have questions though about Aaron Richmond and Aaron's opinion. So what do you want to know? As I like to say, If you can ask me a question to really make me sweat to get under my skin to see if I'm worth my salt as a podcaster, what do you really want to know about me?
Yeah, just would love to know how you got started and sort of your background, Aaron.
Sure. So my background, I'll reverse engineer that. So the background is I was born blind with glaucoma and a congenital heart defect. My so that's my health story. So I've been through a lot of health stuff during my life. My background is not in economics; it's in international affairs, and I'm more of a poli-sci international affairs person. I speak English and French. The section of work that I do is teaching English as a second language. So I work online doing that. So I'm very comfortable with online work. And I got into podcasting around the same time that everybody else did during the pandemic. I was listening to a lot of podcasts around the blindness community, but Patrick, they were not really open to my opinions. And I'm, as you can tell, a very opinionated person. And I really had a problem with that. So I wanted to create a space where anybody like you can come up to my microphone and share what you're doing in the space and to be able to have a great conversation. And that's very important to me to be able to create a product here at Aaron's Opinion where anybody can basically come up and have the chance to educate the world about what they're doing, whether it's e-commerce stuff that you do, or I mean, we've had many different guests in many different sections from, I mean, you name it, everything from media to birds to cars to lawyers, attorney. I mean, we've had all sorts of different sections of society. So that's how I got into it. And then I'm also an avid podcast consumer. I constantly listen to podcasts and other creators around the blindness space or not. But either way, that's how I got into it, by needing to talk constantly and educate people, and my desire to create knowledge for the future, so that 30 years from now, somebody can research this and learn about this in the future. And that's truly the power behind the podcast. At least that's, my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed podcasts are a really great way, especially for who are blind and visually impaired.
For everybody.
Um, yeah, to learn about things, right? It's like the new form of
Truly, it's
media.
ridiculously powerful. It's ridiculously powerful. So do you have a podcast? Does Innosearch have a podcast? Because
That's a
they
great
should.
question.
They should.
Yeah, we're in the process of launching ours. We bought all the studio equipment, so we'll be recording some episodes soon. And yeah, it's something to definitely look forward to. And we want to have all sorts of guests on as well. So, yeah, I mean, if you're interested, we would love to have you on, talk
Absolutely.
about, yeah, we'll come up with some topics to make it interesting.
Well, I can come up with topic to be I'm sort of an interesting. I'm a character regardless. But thank you. That's all really excellent. Yeah. Do you think you kind of had to know that I was going to ask this since you kind of brought it up. Sort of in the subject. I did read the subject of the emails that you've been sending. So this question was kind of waiting to kind of gear it up and ask it. So. Um, what do you think? Do you think you guys could provide me with some sort of audio commercial, some audio file that I could use, maybe behind some future episodes of this episode, so that my listeners know about Innosearch AI?
Yeah, we can, create an audio snippet for you. That's one option. I think we can do that. We can also do some text in the description. Another option, or we can, to be honest, do all three. We could even give you a unique code, where each user that clicks on that code and uses it to sign up for InnoSearch would just give them a free $10 credit to
Hmm.
spend, and no strings attached. They just can give the platform a try, right? It's just free credits in their account. Um, yeah, it's just so that they have no risk and just see what it's all about. And each person that gets referred through that link will also send you, um, $10 as well. So, it's something to help both everybody out. So yeah, that's something we can definitely look into. We can discuss
Let's
offline, how we can work
Sure,
some of those
understood.
things out.
Let's do all three, because you always have to cover in the podcast space. You always have to keep all the options open for people. But that is all things that I'm more than happy to do, and I think that's really good. So you said that here at Aaron's Opinion, we will potentially be able to have kind of a what's the word? A promo,
Referral code.
yeah, a promo code. Yeah, that would be good. So, so then you say though that people have to have credits though, like to use Innosearch AI, there's a credit system. Like, so what is that though? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have created a referral system where anybody who refers a friend using the link would just get $10 for free. And it's credited to their account. It's like store credit, if you will. Um, and it's just a balance that grows. The more people you refer, the more you can earn, right? And you earn $10 once they complete their first purchase. And when they create a new account, they also get $10 for free. So it's just a little incentive mechanism to, give the product a try. And yeah, for podcast guests, podcasts out there, we can give them something unique, so we can help everybody out.
Yeah, really good, really
And
good. Yeah,
oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. So I know you
sure.
said you have a significant audience in South Africa,
Hmm.
all over the world. So yeah, I know that for those people, unfortunately, we are not selling in those countries, but what they can do is they can email us at support@innosearch.ai. Just say, hey, I'm from South Africa. I would love to see your service there. And once we get enough emails, then definitely consider adding it. And when we add a country, it moves quite quickly. We could probably do it in a week or so. So it's not something that would take a long time. We just want to make sure, um, yeah, there's enough people that will use it.
Yeah, yeah, no, we'll definitely get that taken care of because I know some marketing people in South Africa who would really love it. So we can definitely work that out. Yeah, I forget if you ever. I honestly forget if you did. I forget if you sent me your description or not for the episode where you write a paragraph about what who you are and what InnoSearch is. I forget if you did or not, by the way.
Yeah, we can
Um,
send all that to you offline.
sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just let us know whatever information you're missing and those three
Mm-hmm.
different collaboration ideas I just mentioned. Yeah, we can take care of that, no problem. Just let us know and we'll shoot you the information.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Patrick, I got to say, it's really been an honor and pleasure to have you on the show today. It truly has. So, do you want to ask me any other questions that you've been dying to ask me? Because I think I've gotten the impression that you've been perhaps listening to Aaron's opinion for a while. So I'm always curious to know, what do you really want to know about what I do?
No, I think this is great.
Okay.
I just learned today that you're a ESL teacher. It's amazing. Yeah, so kudos for you for doing that, teaching folks
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
can't speak English as
education, I
well.
think in InnoSearch could really delve into the education field too, because education is online education, e-learning is a huge section of society now. It's a massive thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing something really great. Really happy to hear that. And yeah, I mean, we're all trying to help folks live a better, more independent life. Language is so important, right? So imagine coming to America and not being able to speak fluently, right? It's really challenging. So yeah,
Yeah.
great work that you're doing there. It's obviously really nice to be on your show
Much appreciated.
and just share, brainstorm, talk about all sorts of topics. I know we covered a lot of things today. So yeah, thanks for having us. Also very honored to be here and speak with you. So if there's anything in the future, would love the opportunity. And we'll be providing your audience promotion code so they can try out InnoSearch. So
Sure.
stay tuned for that. Once I give it to you, yeah, you can announce it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
Because obviously, yeah.
once this episode goes live, we can also do some cross promotion across our social medias as well.
let's
So
let's definitely connect offline. Certainly, if you can send me a text and hop onto WhatsApp, we can definitely. I'm a big WhatsApp guy, so if we can get onto WhatsApp, we can definitely do all this. But absolutely, yeah, really good connecting with you. And by the way, seriously, from my heart to yours. Thank you for being kind about all the rescheduling we've had to do. We've had quite the time getting this scheduled, and you were very kind to me about that. So I tremendously salute you for that. You're very, very patient and kind, and I really appreciate it. I truly do. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, everybody's so busy nowadays, right? And yeah, sometimes, we have families, we have all
Yeah,
this stuff going
we
on.
certainly,
So
I appreciate it. I hope you understand it's not quite like that with all guests. We had some turbulence there. We had some really awkward luck there. I don't know how we did that, but that was really weird. It was really awkward and you handled it beautifully. So I really appreciate you for sticking to this and delivering such a great and interesting product. All right. So thank you
yeah.
so much.
All
Absolutely.
right. Thanks so
So
much,
anyway,
Aaron.
Patrick, do you know how I end an episode here at Aaron's Opinion?
No, let's hear it.
All right. So Patrick, thank you for joining us. We'll connect over on WhatsApp soon. And until next time, thank you so much, everybody. And help one person today, help 1 million people tomorrow.